Home Show.
Alicia from White Plains, New York, has a question about the air conditioning system.
Yeah, there's a replacement system and things ain't working like they used to, and she's concerned, Tom. She writes, I just replaced my air handler and central AC unit, and I have Nest thermostats on other zones, and those are working just fine. But the humidity is going up over 75% during the day when it's hot out, and then when it's in the 70s, it's down about 55 to 60% where it belongs. The pan under the handler was filled with water when the tech came, so he shimmied it, and so it drained, and it's fine. But the next day, the humidity came right back again, so that didn't fix it. She says, I live in the New York City area, and I don't understand why, with my old unit, the air was fine with the Nest thermostats, now not so much. Tom, can you help her figure out what's going on?
I can make some recommendations, but here's the real meat of this question, Charlie, is she had a new system put in. First off, water in that drain pan is a sign you got another issue happening somewhere. You send a tech out, he tilts the drain pan a little bit so it drains. There's not supposed to be any water in that pan at all. That's an emergency overflow. That means the pan in the evaporator coil, the primary drain, which you would never see, you got a problem up there. It's not draining right. So it's holding all this water in the evaporator coil primary pan that you don't see, and it's dumping it all back into the house. My biggest problem with this question is the installer did not install it right. Whether it's the Nest thermostat, whether it's a zone and it's not working for it, whether it's a variable speed, which it could be on the newer models, or a 2-speed for that matter. The fact of the matter is this system was not installed right. And those installers need to come out and troubleshoot it and fix it, because that's what this lady paid for. So that is the meat of the answer to this question. I suspect you've got a issue with your primary drain pan. It's holding so much water, and all he did was take the emergency drain pan and tilt it so it drains faster. There's not supposed to be any water in there at all. And what's happening is he didn't fix the problem. He just made sure that it drained a little faster on the emergency pan. That's where I'm going to go with the answer on this one. Get them back out there to fix it at no cost to you. And if they can't, you're dealing with the wrong people.
Yeah, and so what I hear you saying, Tom, is that this is actually a number of problems, and it's showing up in the humidity and the water backed up. So, like you're saying, it could be
that
fan
water
speed.
is building up and it's being dumped back in, because the Nest thermostat, Charlie, you have one. It runs the fan a little longer when the system's not running, and there's reasons behind it, but it's because it's supposed to be running a system that's installed and working properly. You take any thermostat and a system that's not draining right, that's not washing the coil properly, that's not doing the things it needs to do, you're never going to win by just jacking here and there a little bit. Something is major wrong if the humidity is at 70%. That is way too high.
Even in New York City.
And that's even more weird. It's in New York. Houston, we'll get it once in a while, but Houston,
New York can be pretty. It can be pretty humid in the summertime. So
I know. And I do know, because at night we didn't have air conditioning in Lake Placid and the fans, and I was sweating, and it was disgusting.
It's a tough life, Tom. I feel for you. I will tell you this about that. One last thing on the Nests before we land
Go
this
right
plane,
ahead.
as you like to say. Oh, I've got a bunch of them. But I will tell you, we took them out we had them at the office. We had to take them out because we were told that the Nest does not like to be in a zoned system. When you have it, when you have 2 thermostats and it's running zones, the Nest no so much likes that. And I'm not sure if that's 100% because of the way our system's designed or an inherent flaw in the Nest design. But that's something else. That's a third thing you may want to check into. It's possible the system that she's gotten is not configured in a way that allows for the Nests to talk to each other in an effective way.
But Charlie, who told you that?
Our trusted Home Show pro, Rick from Absolute
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. It's not for me to tell her and her to tell them, because it's like telling the mechanic how to put brakes on your car. Well, you didn't need brakes, but you told me to put them on. You can go back to your dad saying with that stuff. You tell them to fix it and put it in right. It's for them to tell her, not her to tell them.
My dad was a mechanic in New York City, and what Tom's referring to My what he's referring to is that my dad used to say 9 times out of 10 the problem with the car is a loose nut behind the wheel. So
well, that's not where I was going, but okay.
No, but
What do you want from a New York mechanic, huh?
hey, it's my dad.
Hey,
All right. Hey, you guys, I'll tell you, forget about it. All right, so let's get to the matter at hand. If you want to get your question answered by Tom, it's easy peasy. Just go to HomeShowRadio.com and fill out that form over there, the Ask Tom form. The reason we mess with this is that our cameras are backwards, so we have to point the opposite way. So anyway,
right.
The point is when you go to the website, click on that blue button over there, and that'll get you what you want. You fill it out, send it in, and we'll answer it in a video just like this, and we'll post it for you. We post a new one every day at HomeShowRadio.com, and on our Facebook page, and of course on our YouTube channel.